Hello, everybody. Just Random Gamer here. Welcome to a first and probably a series. I don't know. This is going to be somewhat of a podcast kind of deal. I am joined here by
Kenny.
and
you can call me Sasu for now.
and today we're just gonna talk about really whatever. Doesn't matter. We can just let loose. Y'all want to start us off?
Okay, so we just started watching this stinking amazing show right now. It is Hell of a Boss. Yeah, Hell of a Boss. Generally, it's pretty popular right now on YouTube. Pretty popular. But it is so stinking good. It's such a funny commentary. I mean, it's definitely not for kids, so don't watch it with your kids. But I stinking love it. I just recently got you to watch it.
Yeah.
And we're in the process of getting you to watch it. I already had you watch it.
Yeah.
And
a couple days ago.
Yeah. You seem to like it. So I was the one who started you guys with it, but what do you both think about the show?
I like it. It was hilarious when I first got into it.
I think you were just shocked with some of the scenes. Because when we watched it, I remember your eyes going huge. Like, what did I just see? Like, you had just been paralyzed. Well, what about you?
There's a lot of type shows that are like this nowadays because like the whole trend of like this type of like commentary and this type of like comedic stuff is getting really common now.
You mean like the kind of offensive, but like
the kind of South Park feel of this,
But it's not. The only difference I'd say is it's not as offensive. South Park is very offensive. You've seen it more than I have.
True.
It is very offensive.
Right,
this is not.
Yeah, so it's not on the South Park level, but it's like it's above like Family Guy and such. Maybe like on the Archer level.
It's definitely on the do not watch it with your young children type of level.
Yeah, and probably don't watch it with your parents in the room either.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of watching with parents in the room, I went over to see my father. And believe it or not, I watched the video, not thinking much of it. And all of a sudden, the main character, Blitz, said something absolutely insane. And my dad looked at me like, "Are you crazy? What did that just say?" I've had him give me looks of what the crap before, but he looked absolutely stunned by what he just heard.
Some people aren't used to like the type of shows that kids nowadays watch. And well, whereas Hell of a Boss would be one of those types of shows that people normally watch, there are some people that do watch it. So when you show it to someone that's never seen anything like it, chances are it's probably going to be an interesting day.
And I think, especially from their generation, something like that would be you'd never see. Or even for our generation, people get offended a lot by these crazy shows with these crazy types of things. So
And there's a ferret in a bag.
there is a ferret in your bag. I can
Lovely.
Let me get him out for you. There you go.
Yeah, Halloween came early. It was a trick. I got a ferret.
Yes, you got tricked. But I think nowadays where everyone's also so easily offended, it's nice to see a show that kind of just says, screw it, let's tell these very outlandish and very standoffish jokes. Let's tell these very sexually motivated jokes, these not sexually motivated jokes. And people can just be chill about it and really just enjoy it and be like, this is funny, and not take it to heart.
And the things about these types of shows that not only do they let loose, they don't care about like restrictions or filters or censors.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like the better shows are the unfiltered ones because you can truly let your mind out and you can be as creative as you want.
Yeah, like this show is definitely one that does not care about the YouTube guidelines, especially with its language and its scenes. It definitely does not care about YouTube guidelines, which is also nice to see because YouTube's getting so filtered.
Yeah,
recently.
How it's still on YouTube, I have no idea.
I agree with that statement.
For a show that has a lot of views for Hell of a Boss, pretty awesome.
But even so, a lot of shows that do get a lot of views because their language will get knocked off YouTube.
Yeah, demonetized.
I'm surprised that the creator hasn't even got a community guideline strike yet from that.
Alright.
Maybe it's because it's a big production with a lot of money going into it.
No, maybe YouTube just likes it a lot.
That is possible because the amount of views on this thing is probably getting YouTube mad money. Like, I can't imagine this not getting them, YouTube not getting a lot out of this. Though it's good they don't have rights to it. So I think if they did, it'd be ruined.
Yeah.
It would actually be filtered and stuff if they had rights to it. Like,
Oh my gosh.
it'd be so boring.
It would be such a bland show. You really wouldn't get to see the characters come out. Like with Brandon Rogers, who plays the main character, Blitz. I love the way Brandon's so unfiltered. He's crazy. It's like he is in his videos. I love Brandon. So it's nice to see him still not care about being filtered.
And
which I
since
think,
it's on another channel, he doesn't have to care about demonetization or
I mean,
censorization or any of that stuff.
Brandon's always had to care about it because his channel is very similar. His channel is very loud, out there, a lot of swearing, a lot of cussing, a lot of topics that don't normally get discussed. Seeing him go on another channel and still not care about that and still make content that he loves is really good to see.
He's a free person to heart. That's called.
Yeah. So what do you think about how this is going with Hell of a Boss and where it is?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
He hasn't seen all of it, but you and me have.
I think it's hilarious. It's not kid friendly, of course. It just shocked me at first.
Do you think... So you and me have seen the newest episode that just came out today, and it is hilarious. It's one of the funniest episodes I think I've seen. You haven't seen it yet, but we'll definitely let you see it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But honest to goodness, while this show definitely does have its funny moments, I think it also has its sentimental moments. Like in today's episode, you really got to see the dynamic between the parents and their kids.
Yeah. The best types of shows are the shows that explore all areas of life.
Agreed.
Whether it be
100%.
like an uncensored joke, like that's bound to happen in life, or like a sad, sentimental, like deep story that also happens in life.
I also love a show that can be so goofy and so satire filled, but have a deep moment where they explore the character's feelings, maybe for another character or with the relationship with a family member or things that have gone wrong in their life, how they've changed. I think a good show can really go through all of that. And I think this show's doing good. For a small YouTube production, honestly, I think the girl who started this, Vivzy Pop? Yeah, Vivzy Pop. I think she's doing good with the way she's going with this show. And all the people who were voice acting are doing stinking amazing. Their characters are just pure gold.
I got a question for you.
All right.
What are both of your favorite characters from the show so far?
Ooh, that's hard.
Mine's
why?
the guy that plays Invader Zim. He's
Oh, Moxie.
Moxie.
You like Moxie.
Yeah.
So I guess Moxie, I learned this from you, Moxie has the same voice actor as the guy who plays Invader Zim,
Yes.
which I've never seen Invader Zim, so I don't know too much about
Pretty
it.
cool cartoon.
So it would be more, but that's a bigger production, obviously. Invader Zim than something.
Just because I always liked Gurr and Invader Zim talking when I watched the show.
But for me, I had a very hard time coming up with a favorite main character when I started this. Like, I went from Blitz to Moxie to Octavia, but I absolutely love Stolas. Stolas is hilarious. He's a bit horny. But Stolas also shows his emotions so well, which I think when he's being so inappropriate, you forget that he generally has feelings for Blitz. He generally loves his daughter. He hates the relationship that he had with his wife, Stella. I think it's good to see Stolas grow. I think definitely Stolas does need to grow some more, though, because he's definitely stuck being a very obedient character who goes by other people's whims. And I'd like to see him just say, screw it. I'm going to do what I want to do. I think that would make Stellis' character even better than it already is. But you've seen part of it, so I know you haven't seen all of it. But you've been introduced to the general gist of characters. Do you have a favorite?
Probably gonna have to go between Blitz and Luna, whatever her name is.
Luna, yeah.
Luna, so the Hellhound.
Oh yeah. Definitely surprised me. You know.
Let me ask you this: why do you like those two? Because I've explained why I like Stolas. He likes Moxie because of his voice. But what really caught your eye with those two? I guess.
I don't know. It's just you wouldn't guess that they're related if you just went into like one of these random episodes and they didn't mention it anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So like
100%.
it's kind of like surprising and kind of funny in a way how like they act nothing alike, yet it's kind of a deal where opposites attract. So like you wouldn't guess that like Blitz is the adoptive father for Luna. So in turn you wouldn't guess that Luna would be the adoptive daughter of Blitz. It's kind of a deal like I'm trying to word this. Blitz is a business manager for a company that like kills people and brings them to hell. Such not, typical ritual shit. But then there's Luna, typical teenage girl who doesn't care about anything. Will do stuff if you get something out of it or such thing. So I guess it's kind of relatable in a way. That's why I was drawn towards her character also.
Yeah, I can get that.
Blitz for the craziness, it's relatable with every teenager.
Yeah.
And Luna for like the personality, I guess.
I definitely think Luna has a lot of good interest with her. Not just her fighting skills, she's a great fighter. But her relationship with Blitz is definitely a funny and definitely gentle aspect of the two. Because Blitz is very out there, he doesn't seem to care about what most people think. And Luna's just very like, leave me alone, I want to do stuff my way. But it's good to see that sometimes she'll call him dad or she'll smile at him, and just seeing that connection between the adoptive father and his daughter. I think it's amazing, especially since you'll find out more about this. I don't want to be too much of a spoiler, but you really get to find out about Luna's situation, where she came from, why Blitz adopted her, and I think it really helps open up Luna's character, and also helps you realize that she's a lot. What's what I'm thinking of? She's a lot kinder and softer and warmer than she looks, and then she comes out as.
It's kind of like a book. Because right now, I think I'm in the stage of the episodes where I've only opened up a few of her pages. But I feel like the more I go into the episodes, there's going to be an entire book to read about her.
Yeah.
I definitely think that they do a good job talking about the daughters instead of pushing them all the way to the back. Because they definitely could have done that. They definitely could have just shown the daughters once or twice, thrown them to the side like they're nothing. But they explain Luna. They explain that she's his adopted daughter. They explain that she didn't come from good circumstances, all that. Same with Octavia. They explain that her parents' separation is hard on her, that she basically just wants to be a family, that she's having a hard time with life. They do their best to explain even the side characters and not shove them to the back to where they're just kind of treated as extra.
Usually, a decent or good show not only lets itself fully loose on whatever aspect they like, but they also explain their characters with like good precision and like good detail tellings, skills, and such not.
I agree, 100% agree. But I think the show's doing it good.
Because a show can be good and all, but if it doesn't have decent or good characters, then the show is kind of meaningless in a way.
I 110% agree. Because this show could have been just jokes, and I think it would have still been good, but I don't think it'd be something that I could come back to and constantly rewatch an episode and still get the same enjoyment out of. I think the way it is now, you can come back, you can watch the episode, go for a while, come back, and still get those same laughs, those same tears, the same enjoyment out of it, which I love.
Yeah, a show that you can watch over and over again and get the same feeling almost every time. That is also another indicator that it's probably a good show. not many people, probably not everybody will agree with you because everyone likes their own different preferences and such not. But what matters is that if you like a show, then you'll end up watching it again, right? So that also signifies a good show because, well, obviously not most people will agree with this, but a good show to me would be like if they can like lure me in with a certain character or two within like the first episode,
Yeah.
then like that definitely catches people's interest usually.
Mm-hmm.
Because then like it'll eventually like lead you to be interested in the other characters too, and then what do you know? You'll be at a full loop, and you'll have looked at all the characters, pay attention to every detail of the story, and then you like the show. Like that. That's usually how I would like determine if I like a show or not.
So for you, a show is good. Just tell me if I'm correct or not. A show is a good show that really ropes you in is when they have a few good characters that really pull you in but keep you there, that keep you wanting more.
It's like an advertiser. Like some of the characters could be like standing at like a in front of a building, if you will. Like they could be like holding a sign advertising their show. Like if they're good enough at their job at advertising said show, then you'll go in the building. You'll want more, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be interested in more and more of the show. It'll make you in turn like it more.
Kind of like red versus blue, but different.
I think for me, what drove me into this was I'd seen like lip clips on Tumblr and on what was it, Tumblr? I saw a lot on TikTok, like little drawings people were doing, and I kept on wondering, what the heck is this? I've never seen this. I thought I heard Brandon Rogers talk about it, and hearing what the show was supposed to be about, how goofy it was supposed to be, but also that it was going to have its serious moments. I think for me, that was enough for me to say, hey, I'll try this. Even if I don't like it, at least I can try and say it was worth it. And I'm 100% happy I did. It turned out to be a phenomenal show. And honest to goodness, I rewatch the episodes all the time. It's just that good.
Yeah, there's also cases where like a good show could also like hide a deeper meaning. Like I feel like with this show, it's very obvious that like the cover of this book would be like it's all fun and games, comedic joking, or just settings in hell. But like with the more you read into it, you get like the deeper meaning behind the jokes and the comedic timing and such not, and it'll reveal like more of the story. You know, I can also pull you in.
I agree. I think it definitely does that justice. Now, besides Hell of a Boss, there's also another mini project that they're doing that's going to be similar to Hell of a Boss. It's going to take place in the same universe of Hell, obviously, but it's called Has Been Hotel. I haven't showed you the pilot for that yet, but it is different demons, and it's also basically the main character. She is trying to make a hotel that converts demons. Basically helps them get rid of their sins. It is some of the most sweet thing I've ever seen. To really think, but you wouldn't think, oh, it's hell, it's full of all bad people. Excuse me. You wouldn't think that there'd be someone who'd want to turn it around. And then there's people who obviously just want to help for their own motivations, people who don't really agree with it. But it's just as sweet and just funny. It has not been updated yet. They've not put out an episode 1. I'm eagerly waiting for that day.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
But honest to goodness, if it's anything like Hell of a Boss right now, it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, I totally agree 100%. Now, I haven't heard anything about the show other than what you just said, but judging by this show, if it's anything similar, I've a funny feeling that I'm probably going to end up liking it too.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't say it's exactly similar. I would say it definitely goes on a different boundary. Because this one you actually get to learn how you deal with a lot of more creatures now and hearing about how they died. Because there are creatures that have been there and been living there. There are people that died and became these creatures. So learning how their issues or the things that caused them to die still affect them even in hell is definitely a hit to the heart. And it definitely makes you think, which I love.
Yeah. Gotta love those those brain fuckers I call them, where they make you think about like life and such and all that. It's like when there's like a serious twist in the story, and like a character does a certain thing that you wouldn't expect them to do, or someone else does a certain thing to said character that was unexpected. Like it tends to make you like think like, is this really for me? Or in other words, it could also make you think like, damn, I took that personally.
Yeah. Like one of the main issues it discusses about how someone died, like it will tell you if they died from a drug overdose, they died from being killed, that they died from being shot, and especially with one of the characters who died from an overdose because they chose to live a life like that. It goes through the nightmares they experienced, being in hell even, still doing nightmares about overdoses and about treating themselves so badly and all that, and it really talks about their struggles they have, even though they're already in a place where you think, oh, you've already paid your dues on Earth, but your dues are still going to haunt you down there, which is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why no one ever talks about heaven, because like the whole purpose of that is like it's supposed to be all perfect and such, so no one really cares. Like
Yeah.
at this point, perfect's overrated. Like we can all agree that it doesn't exist.
Agreed.
But in terms of like things like hell, like the thing about that is chances are that that's where like most people probably don't even deserve to be there. Which you could look at a random person in hell and be like, oh, they're ugly, they deserve to be there. But you wouldn't notice their backstory, why they're actually there in the first place, what happened, the origin.
And also, I think this really brings up the point of just because someone got sent to hell doesn't mean they're a bad person. Like the person who did the drug overdose, they were sent to hell because they did drugs, they were prostituting, so they did things that normally in society are considered non-moral. But to see that in the end they were they